Lots of things happen here at Essence Fest. And when you talk about the empowerment stage, all the different conversations. Tomorrow, there will be a conversation of America's mayors talking about what they are facing in this country. Of course, Mitch Landrieu, the mayor of New Orleans, will be leading that. He'll be joined by Baton Rouge Mayor Sharon Broome, as well as Catherine Pugh from Baltimore, who joins us right now. How you doing?
I'm good.
All right, so this is the first Essence Fest for you on stage as mayor of Baltimore.
Yes, because you remember me as president of the National Black Caucus of State Legislators.
Absolutely,
yes.
Absolutely. And so when we talk about the state of what's happening in inner city America, what's happening in your city and others, what are you going to tell folks on that stage?
Well, one, we're looking at how innovation helps us to change cities, how improving technology helps us to change cities, that we're focused on violence reduction in Baltimore. We're also focused on how we do that through some of our technology, whether it is lighting up cities around, we're lighting up Baltimore, 75,000 lights being transformed into LED lights and 6,000 new lights in different parts of our city. They're now more informational as well. Mm-hmm. We're preparing for 5G, having broadband throughout our entire city and our school system, and looking at how we change transportation so it meets the needs of all people.
How are you dealing with a different administration when it comes to the cities of this country that has really been about block grants, sending everything to the states, as opposed to saying, wait a minute, no, sending money directly to cities to directly impact people?
Well, let me just say, in Maryland, we work very closely with our state legislators and with our governor, who happens to be a Republican. But I can tell you that I think it's important that we know how to work across aisles. And we just had a listening tour with our HUD secretary focused on the need for not just block grant money, but also for RAD funds that have transformed public housing and creates more affordable housing in cities. And when I was at the U.S. Conference of Mayors, we also met with FEMA because we were concerned about dollars that we need mm-hmm. as it relates to transforming our police department, because we're also now under a consent decree.
Mm-hmm. Now, we're here in New Orleans, and Mayor Mitch Landrieu led the city through a very difficult time when it came to the removal of their Confederate statues. You're having to deal with something similar in Baltimore.
Yes, and we're looking at it from the same perspective. I had a conversation not just with Mayor Landrieu, but with other mayors around the country. Louisville, Kentucky also removed theirs. The previous administration did a study on where the Confederate statues are in Baltimore. I like the approach that has been used by Mayor Landrieu in terms of looking at where the Civil War veterans are buried, and we have actually 4 such cemeteries in the Baltimore area, and so we're looking at that. It costs about $200,000 to $250,000 to remove those statues, so we're having conversations around that.
All right, then. Last question for you. When we talk about activism, when we talk about people being involved, there were so many people who obviously were outraged at what happened with the Freddie Gray case, but how are you getting people to understand that you need to see those neighborhoods at city council meetings, at committee hearings as well, saying don't just wait for your political leaders, having them very much also involved in the future of the city?
So what we do is call to actions. When I got elected and sworn in December, I immediately started pulling together groups of people and say, I need you to get in the action. I need you to be a part of the solution, because the city can't do it by itself, police department can't do it by itself, and we need to transform neighborhoods and communities. And so I've directed funding to neighborhoods and communities that have traditionally not received the kind of attention that they need. And so when I think, for example, about the Preakness and where it's located in the city, in a northwest part of the city where dollars are generated.
The horse racing facility.
But the commitment in that facility has not been there. Mm-hmm. The infrastructure has not been improved, and the neighborhood has fallen apart. And so we're directing dollars into that community and looking at how do we pull investment in that neighborhood. And when you look at Eager Park, for example, over mm-hmm. East Baltimore, great transformation through the efforts of Johns Hopkins and the city. Partnership is really important, private-public partnership, investing in neighborhoods and making sure young people are accounted for. We've got 9,000 young people who are working this summer, raised $14 million, most of it privately. Looked at the squeegee kids that are on the corners and said, what can we do about them? We've created pop-up car washes for young people to get them off the corners, to show them how to be in business. So we're excited about the things
Well,
we're doing.
we'll talk more about that in 2 weeks. So we'll be broadcasting live from the Alpha Phi Alpha Convention on July 14th.
Yes, and we're welcoming them.
Well, and we'll be broadcasting the show from the Convention Center.
Absolutely.
And so we'll have you back on the show from your city when we're there.
We'll bring the squeegee kids.
All right, sounds good.
Thank you.
All right, good seeing you. I
Good to
appreciate
see
it.
you
Thanks so
always.
much.
Thank you.
Weekdays on TV One.
I will never lie to you.
Oh my God.
Roland Martin.
He doesn't want to talk to us. He wants to ignore us.
Uncensored.
Hell no.
That ain't gonna cut it, boo.
Unapologetic.
No, that is fundamentally false. You are wrong. He
Unfiltered.
wants an America where we all look alike. He ain't talking about black people.
Unrelenting.
You better go work out, because you got a fight on your hands.
NewsOne Now with Roland Martin. Weekdays at 7 a.m. on TV One.